Well, it depends on what you think of that. I mean, I don't think that's immoral, but that's a different conversation. But for society, it is more productive. Overall, I know if they do have it within wedlock.
Do you have kids out of wedlock?
I don't. No.
You don't? Why not?
It's just not how my life unfolded.
Are you married?
Yes.
And so you have kids?
No, we just got married about a year ago.
Oh, okay. But so you don't have it out of wedlock. Did you work hard to get where you are today?
Absolutely. I worked 15-hour days.
You had to work for it, right?
Yes.
And so if you didn't work to get where you are, would you be where you are today?
No, I wouldn't. I'd have to. Hard work is an enormous part of it. The other part of it is that I had a tremendous amount of help.
You had help?
Yes.
So that when you got up and decided that you wanted to make a life for yourself, you got help along the way.
That's right.
Right. If you didn't get up and work for yourself, would you be called lazy?
Well, in my particular case, I would. If you were talking about a whole group of people, that doesn't make any sense. So
if a group of people didn't get up and work for themselves and relied on someone else, they would not be called lazy? Would the word change?
Jesse, I'm glad we're talking about this because this is a perfect example. So I work really hard, and that's part of how I got to be successful. Now, the other part of it was that I was born in a context where I knew rich people. Okay, so because my dad had worked really hard because he came from a village, right, and he made a living for himself. So then I went to good schools, and I know family and friends that have money, and they helped to raise money for the original investment in my show. Right. Now, I couldn't have done it without their help,
right?
And at times I couldn't have done it without the unemployment insurance that I got when I was between jobs.
Well, you should get unemployment. It belongs to you. If you work, you get that when you're not working.
All right, so we agree on that. But the critical, hold on one second. Okay. This is really important because the critical part of this story isn't how I got to be successful. It's how my dad got to be successful, got out of that poverty, right? And the key element was a free education that he got in Turkey. The government gave him a free education, which was the great equalizer. That's what gave him the opportunity. You need the hard work, but you also need a fair chance.
But they don't have free education in this country?
Well, it depends on, which schools you go to, how much of it gets covered.
Free education in this country?
No, in college.
In college, do they have free education in college? I know truckloads of black folks who can go to college right now simply because they're black.
Mm-hmm. Well, those scholarships are great. They provide an opportunity. Do you agree with that?
But because you got up and worked hard, and your dad set an example for you, there were people who helped you along the way because you were doing it for yourself, right?
If you're asking me, do I believe in hard work? Absolutely. But I also believe you need an opportunity to make that hard work fruitful.
But opportunity come when you get up to start doing for yourself.
Agree 100%.
Opportunities do not come when you sit back and wait for someone to give you something.
I couldn't agree more.
That's all I want black people to do. What's wrong with that?
But it depends on the specific program. If you say, yes, I want people to do that, but I don't want the government to give them an opportunity by, for example, providing scholarships so they can get an education, then I disagree.
But what? Did your opportunity come from the government, or you getting up doing it and people saw what you were doing?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you, Jesse. It's a combination.
Let's go to Gene out of Connecticut. Gene, welcome to the show.
Hey, Reverend Peterson, thanks for having me on. Yeah. I just want to say to Jake from the Young Turks, I've seen your show on YouTube, on a YouTube channel, but I get what you're doing with the whole news thing and your delivery, but I'm not impressed. And the reason why I say this is because you don't have a neutral standpoint on how you deliver your news. I mean, I've seen you attack guys like Jesse Lee Peterson and Neil Bort, but you pat the real racists like that idiot Roland Martin on the back. And it just kind of confuses me because you don't take a neutral standpoint on your delivery. It's just you're on one side and you attack everybody else that's on the other side.
Look, I don't know what you mean because, for example, I go after Al Sharpton all the time, okay? It depends on what he's doing, what he's done, and Al Sharpton has done some terrible things in the past. I mean, you call Roland Martin a racist, I have no idea why you say that. I have not seen that at all.
Well, because he plays the race card in every argument, every situation. If you watch a lot of his segments, it's always about we're always oppressed, everybody else is racist, white people are racist, black folks, excuse black folks because we come from slavery, and excuse what we do, excuse our character, excuse our actions, excuse everything else because we're the oppressed, we've been for 600 years, and just excuse us. That's Roland Martin. And I dare you to tell me that's not Roland Martin because I've seen a lot of his segments and I've heard a lot of his interviews.
I've debated Roland Martin. He's a little fat coward, too.
All right, look, you guys are. I have no idea. I mean, you're telling me the stuff that Roland Martin says, but I haven't heard it myself. So
because you've attacked Jesse Lee Peterson and you've attacked men like Neil
because I disagree with them
by calling them racist. Yeah, you might have said a few things about Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson here and there, but you've gone in hard on men like Jesse Lee Peterson.
Because I disagree with them hard. And same with Neil Bortz. That guy's an absolute and utter clown.
Have you disagreed with me today?
Yes, on many occasions.
What do you disagree with today? In this conversation?
We disagree on how much role the government should have. I say not this caricature of the government should run your life, but sometimes give you a fair chance, an opportunity to make better of yourself.
The government is not the role of the government to give us a fair chance. This is America.
I think it is.
We need to get up and take our own chance.
I think it's a combination. If you don't do it yourself, you're never going to get anywhere. But at the same time, you need an opportunity.
But then why didn't you go to the government and ask for a fair chance?
I did in different contexts. For example, when we were starting out, we went to the Small Business Administration to see if we can get a loan.
But anybody can do that. We're talking about a handout.
Well, look, it depends on what you mean by a handout. I'm in favor of welfare reform. So it doesn't mean that you just give people money. But sometimes they need a hand up and not a handout.
G, thanks for your call, buddy. Appreciate it. 888-775-3773. Back in a moment, folks. Fight a segment with my guest. The host of the Young Turks is with me today. He hosts a daily live webcast, and they've been attacking me on this thing, so I invite him into the studio. He is a liberal, and I've often said that liberals don't care about black people. They really are racist toward blacks because they don't require that blacks get up and do it for themselves. They'll do it for themselves. The white liberals will, but they cater to black people to keep them down. So it shows a lack of love, and you clearly displayed that today by not requiring black people to be responsible, as you are and your family. But on your show,
it's a total mischaracterization of what I've said in the last hour.
On your show, you call me a sellout by calling me or comparing me to somebody by the name of Ruckus.
Do you know who Uncle Ruckus is?
I have no idea.
That's awesome.
I've never heard of him until I heard you say that on the show.
You should check out Uncle Ruckus.
How am I a sellout by trying to help black Americans get on their feet in this great country?
Why Sean
sellout?
You know why Sean Hannity and the Heritage Foundation, all those conservative groups love you? It's not because you push a conservative message. It's because they get to say, I didn't say black people are lazy and immoral. My black friend, Jesse Lee Peterson, said it. So you aid and abet them. You aid and abet what I view to be their racism.
I don't believe that that's true about Sean and the Heritage Foundation, but let's say that I know that white Americans have been intimidated. They're afraid to deal with blacks for fear of being called racist. But at least Sean and the Heritage Foundation care enough for black people to try to put somebody out there to help them overcome their situation, unlike liberals who lie to blacks and take a sense of joy out of keeping them down, as you guys are doing.
As we've discussed for the last hour, that's an absolutely absurd thing to say. Nobody takes joy from keeping anybody down, let alone liberals who are actually the only people in the country trying to help folks.
So I'm a sellout for trying to tell blacks that they can do it, get married, stop hating, be responsible for themselves.
As we've discussed in the last hour, not for those, but for when you call them lazy and immoral and you blame them for Hurricane Katrina when they got shot on bridges and it's proven in court that they did.
You and I agree that if you don't get up and work for yourself, the word is lazy. Let's go to Perry out of Memphis, Tennessee. Perry, you're on with my guest. We have about 30 seconds. I apologize. The board is smoking. We just can't get to everybody. Go ahead, Perry.
Yeah, well, I really hate I don't have time to talk because I can't explain myself that quick. But, Jake, you said you don't believe in God, right?
Yes.
And, Jesse, you're a Christian, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, then, Jake, why did your folks persecute the Armenians and refuse to acknowledge the fact that they did it?
Well, we do talk about that on the show, and I wish they would get beyond that issue. I wish they would resolve it. That's a fair point.
Well, Perry, sorry, man. We're absolutely out.
Yeah, I hate that too. Okay,
I do too, but we'll have it back. All right, Jake, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Jesse.
I do appreciate it.